Who wants to be a millionaire? Well, if you become a senior government special advisor, you're well on your way. According to latest reports in Ireland, there are 9 special advisors for Micheal Martin on Taoiseach. 9. And a combined salary of well over €1 million. Absolutely just off the wall in terms of these special advisors for the Taoiseach, and also all the other government ministers, and as well the super junior ministers as well, that have all their advisors to help them in their echo chambers and their ivory towers to stay far removed from ordinary people and to offer strong support, according to Micheal Martin, and support them on a full range of complex issues. Isn't that important? And he said that these people work night and day and they fully deserve what they're getting paid. And these guys are completely deluded and detached from reality. Now, of course, they work in tandem with the civil service rates of pay. So again, they're paid again through the public purse, all of their expense. It's not Micheal Martin's expense that's going towards this. It's all of ours for these special advisors. And it's interesting. This is a man who said that he would not go into government with Fine Gael, but of course supporting him with a confidence and supply agreement for 4 years before he went into bed with them in 2020 formally. And then he did business with profoundly corrupt Lowry as the kingmaker of the most recent coalition of chaos in Ireland. Now, of course, a couple of these people I'll name, and we'll talk through a couple of them in terms of their history. There's a woman called Deirdre Gillane, who's his chief of staff, who's got a salary of well over €200,000. His chief of staff, and she has worked with Micheal Martin for 25 years. She worked with him in the Department of Health. She was a previous nurse and an Irish nurses organisation organiser, and she, according to reports, is the person that gets it done. Isn't that interesting? Maybe she's the pulling the strings behind Martin, Deirdre Gillane. And there's also a guy called Pat McParland on a big salary as well, and he's the assistant chief of staff to Martin. Sounds like the White House, doesn't it? And now we have, he was a former Fianna Fáil press officer. He previously worked with Northern Irish Water, surprise, surprise, the privatisation of the water supply. And he ring any bells down here. And as well, he went into the position as a Fianna Fáil press officer during the period of Brian Cowan. We all remember Brian Cowan when he was completely drunk and gave that Morning Ireland interview in Galway a few years ago with the Lisbon Treaty to say he never even read it. And he was urging people to vote yes for it. That was the treaty that we had to vote twice for because the European Union didn't like our first answer. So we had to go back and tie down a vote for Europe yes again, according to the political establishment here, who pushed those votes through without any democratic oversight, of course. And as well, there's other people like Dermot Lynch, a woman called Simpson Weld, who've worked there for many years with Martin as well, who want highly lucrative paid positions. But there's also a woman called Sharon McGowan, who was a former journalist. This is what they work into, former journalists with the Irish Daily Mail and the Sunday Times, and has been working as a supporter and a senior advisor for Martin over the last 4 to 5 years. And there's also a couple of other people, such as Kieran McQuinn of the RSI. There's Killian Ginnity as well, who's a social media and a digital creator as well, probably helping Martin with his softly social media videos, and his videos rolling, was it a couple of weeks ago, rolling the ball on the Road Bowling Championships in Cork. And of course there's another person, name just escapes me at the moment, who was an ex-senior policy officer with Fianna Fáil and previously worked with Chambers Ireland and was involved as well pushing forward a plan on the policies for the small and medium enterprises across Ireland. Of course, small businesses don't matter to Micheal Martin, but of course this is who he's working with, Chambers Ireland again, who will look after the interests of big business, not small business as well. And what's also fascinating with this is that, do you remember the time of Haughey where you had one spin doctor, PJ Mara? Now it seems to be a plethora of these spin doctors and yes men and women who occupy the ivory tower of Micheal Martin, all paid for their expense. And that's just Martin. That's not mentioning Simon Harris and all the rest of the government ministers who also have their advisors, ex-journalists, inverted commas, with the mainstream media, who then do their audition before they go in and work in the real job as propagandists for the government's and the political establishment in Ireland. That's how it works. It's a corrupt gravy train, and it's absolutely just off the wall. This man has at least eight to nine special advisors. The man who takes his orders from Ursula von der Leyen in Brussels. He's really taken the people of Ireland for a ride. We need a radical shift in our society. The political system is just corrupt to the core. It's nearly irredeemable at this stage. We have the party political system, which is just completely detached from the reality of ordinary people, and actually work against the interests of ordinary people. It's beyond the fact that they don't care. It's actually the working against the interests of ordinary people and the democratic will of so many people. We see that with the myriad of economic and social crises we face day to day in Ireland. We see the protests rising and people have had enough of what's going on. But this is the proverbial mickey taken that's coming out of ordinary people through these press advisors and these ex-journalists that work into these positions of power. That just shows you it's absolute nonsense in Ireland, but it's all paid for, all through the taxpayer. That's the way Ireland works, as money gets funneled upwards. Thanks for the support of my videos. Please share them, please subscribe as well. And from Dublin, slán go fóill.